What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Jav here, one of your hosts from the Real Fan Review. Today with me, I got my brother B.
What's up, everybody?
Yes, sir. It's just going to be us two today. And guys, we apologize for the late podcast. I know we usually put it out on Mondays or Tuesdays, but everybody's busy. Everybody's sick. Kids are in school. They bring it home. Yeah, man. That's what happens, man. What is it? Growing up, or what is it? Adulting sucks.
Adult sucks. Some
Adulting
of us
sucks.
didn't. Some of us didn't get our Flintstone multivitamins, and it shows.
Yeah, man. So it's been kind of crazy, man. But shout out to Sanj and Al. Hopefully, both the boys feeling better soon. I know they'll probably be up for this Venom coming up on Thursday here. So that's going to be actually one of the things we talk about today. We're going to give you a little prep for Venom, the Let There Be Carnage, or Venom 2, if you'd like. We'll give you up-to-date thoughts on what we thought about the first Venom, where they left off, and what we think is going to happen in part 2. We'll maybe talk about what if Episode 7, Party Thor, or what if Thor didn't have Loki to grow up with. Our first topic today, man, is a classic video game movie that's going to be coming out, animated. It's going to be Mario, man, Super Mario Brothers. Now, come on, who doesn't know who the Super Mario Brothers are? We got Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Toad, Bowser, and the kids. It's going to be awesome to see them. And I had a quick question for Brandon, man. B, what's your thoughts on Super Mario Brothers being animated? Because I understand this animated edition is going to have Seth Rogen. It's going to have, I
Chris
believe,
Pratt.
Chris Pratt's Mario.
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Is Princess Peach. Charlie Day is Luigi. Jack Black is Bowser. Key from Key and Peele is going to be Toad.
Right.
And Seth Rogen is going to be playing Donkey Kong. So it looks like we're going to get a little bit of Smash Brothers also. So
Right? It seems like you're right.
Yeah, man. So what's your thoughts on first this movie being announced? Is it something you're looking forward to, or what's your thoughts, man?
I mean, the internet is completely divided right now by the fact that either A, they feel like we don't need this to happen, need and or want it to happen, or two, like they're psyched at the absolute chaos this movie may be in like a good way. And so I stand on, I also want to, give a shout out to the voice actors out there who are very upset by the movie concept right now, that the voice actor who plays Mario is just a special guest in the movie, and Chris Pratt is playing Mario. So huge shout out to voice actors. You guys are all incredible, especially for my anime. I just think I feel like the going into this is just by the cast alone. I'm not meant to take this wholly seriously. Right. This isn't good. I feel like this is going to be Lego Batman for Mario.
Exactly. That's exactly my first thought. Was Lego Batman. Because you have all those actors, Will Ferrell and everybody else that was in it. I think it wasn't Chris Pratt the Lego piece.
Yeah, he was the one Lego. Was he Sam or something like that, right?
I forgot the name of the Lego piece there, but yeah, he was the one. He was the main lead in that one as well. But I don't know, man. I'm curious to see it because I go back and forth between animated and live action Mario, right? Because we have the 1993 Bob Hoskins with John Leguizamo. Fucking horrific. That is not Mario Brothers. That's not Mario Brothers in any way or form. But I think something like that lends itself to a cartoon version, like an animated version of the show, I think, which works better. But then you have something like Sonic, where it came out where Sonic was kind of like a cartoon, but in real life.
Yeah. I thought about the same thing when I saw the poster. I'm like, is this a real life movie? Because then I agree with you. Like, if it was all real, I get the John Leguizamo vibes, and I'm just like, how I can't see Chris Pratt with like a painted on mustache and overalls just jumping up and down like this. Like, I can't see it. But then the Sonic route, which is the other interpretation, I can't see it because there's so many human characters, right? Like, even though we have Bowser, we have the Koopas, we have the Ghost and the Bullet, we have all Donkey Kong, we have all these animal and imaginary type characters, but our lead characters are humans. So even if they did a crossover, I feel it would be weird, but I can't see real life people, and then here comes cartoon Mario. So like
Right.
this can only be a CGI movie.
Yeah, I do agree with that too, because the more I thought of it, the more silly it got in my mind. And again, I don't want to go full live action Super Mario Brothers. I don't think Super Mario Brothers lends itself to be a live action anything. It needs to be cartoons. It really does. It just needs to be cartoons. It's just what was it? The Flying Dragons, or what was the How to Train Your Dragon? That's
Yeah,
the route it should go right there.
that's
That's
it.
its lane.
That's
Yeah,
it.
something like Legend of Zelda, I can see there being a live action version of that. Even Metroid, I can see a live action version of that. But in Super
Yeah,
Mario Brothers, nah, man, that's not for that.
yeah,
But look, like you said, listening to the cast on this, it seems like a lot of good actors. So hopefully they could do the live, the voice acting pretty well. Again, like you said, there are a numerous amounts of voice actors out there that could have probably taken on these roles, but why not? Everyone likes to hear these actors that we all know and love and be like, oh, that's Chris Pratt. That's Chris Pratt right there. Oh, that's Anna
yeah.
Taylor-Joy. But I'm looking forward to it, actually. I don't. I guess I'll tell more when I see a trailer. When the
Yeah,
trailer comes
agreed.
out, I'll be like, okay, this is a complete kids movie, or is it one of those like in between? So
I feel like it's gonna be an in betweener. Like just the nature of it, just like Lego Batman was a kids movie, but it was really for us. Like
there was a couple of jokes in there that I was like, that's an adult joke. Yeah,
oh,
man.
oh. Did you
That
get
was a
that?
penis. That was a penis reference. Yeah, man. So hopefully, like we said, we'll get a trailer within a year or two. I think they just announced these people, so I'm not sure if they completely started working on the movie already and just going to add the voice actors to it now. But looking forward to it. Looking forward to a trailer. Once we see the trailer, I guess we'll all decide whether we're on board or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So listen, as far as news go out there, isn't really a lot of news side. See Brandon's poster in the background. Shang-Chi is out there killing it 4 weeks in a row as the number one movie out there, which is about to be taken down by the movie we're going to talk about next, which is Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Woo.
So let's get a little prep going there, Brandon, man. I don't know if you got a chance to watch Venom or if you remember Venom pretty good, from the movie that came out maybe about, what, 2, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was like 2.5 years ago now. Yeah.
Yeah, there with Tom Hardy. And I remember watching the movie with you, thinking and leaving the theater going, that wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad. Yeah.
That
Agreed. I mean,
wasn't
I had
bad.
lower expectations than that. So
Yeah. And I don't know why we had such low expectations. I mean, the trailers were okay. Venom looked good on the trailers, but I think we weren't too sure because he was talking to himself the whole movie.
and it's Sony. Like, like I've lost a lot of faith in Sony. Now seeing what Marvel was able to do in conjunction with Sony, like it's a whole new universe, a whole new ball game. So like going into it, I'm like, oh, like it's Venom, and I'm excited because I love Venom, but it's Sony. And then this was kicked off by the whole we're gonna scrap Amazing Spider-Man 3, which I mean wasn't really a bad idea. It just was the first time we were gonna see the Sinister Six, so we all got excited. Then there was
Right.
what was it, like the Black and Silver movie for Black Cat and Silver Sable, right?
Uh-huh.
That got scrapped. There was a whole other movie that Spider Woman was scrapped, right? So all these movies were getting scrapped, and Venom was the only one surviving. And it just seemed like, oh well, their attention here for the Spider Verse that they're trying to make doesn't seem like it's coming to fruition. So like I went into Venom with the lowest expectations. Like I thought it was just going to be silly because Tom Hardy does a great job embodying all the roles he plays. So
Hmm.
going into this, I knew he was going to be great. I just didn't know if the Venom part was going to be corny, like you said, he was going to talk to himself the whole time, and then whether the action was going to match. So
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
so going into it, I had the lowest expectations, and I left the theater at the same time, like, beat my expectations, but not by much.
Yeah, man. I mean, if I actually just watched it a couple of days ago, and I got to rewatch it again, and I enjoyed it probably a little bit more than I enjoyed it the first time seeing it in the theaters. And this was actually the first time I've seen it since the theaters. I got it I bought it on Best Buy really quick at a nice little fair price there. Best Buy, thank you.
At seven
Not a
ninety nine.
sponsor. And I got to watch it again, and I did enjoy it. I did like it more since I kind of knew what to expect, kind of thing. And the action scenes were pretty good. The CGI was pretty good, and not for nothing, the part that I thought that was going to be the corniest, which is Venom talking to himself or Venom talking to Eddie Brock, who Tom Hardy's playing as Eddie Brock. I found it entertaining, man. I really did
Yeah.
like all of that stuff, man. I mean, as far as Tom Hardy goes, though, like you were saying, he's phenomenal at what he does. There was parts of it where he seemed like out of character, but then there's parts of it where he's like, okay, this guy is just having a good time playing this role right now. So I mean, now I'm convinced, that's Eddie Brock, that's Venom together. But how about for you, man? How was the acting? How was Eddie Brock and Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock for you?
I love Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, and I agree. Like, at some point it seemed like he was trying to overdo the whole symbiotic relationship thing, with Venom. Like, I mean, like when I think about actors acting with CGI, you have to pretend that thing is there. You have to pretend that it's interacting with you. I think it's cool that Tom Hardy also voiced Venom. So that's a cool way of getting yourself into the role even more. But like when we have these huge CGI based movies, I feel like it's hard to always be in that moment, like to always grasp it.
Mhm.
Because if especially for him, 75% of the movie was him talking to himself or another symbiote, right?
Mhm.
So like having to talk to nobody, like to talk to nothing for 75% of your movie, I feel like that is kind of hard to keep your character the entire time.
Yeah, man. And they did a good job. Like I said, they did a really good job. Um, Now, the one thing I do think that kind of sold it a little bit more for everybody was the fact that when we get the comic books to the movies, we want our people to look the same, our characters to look the same. I have to say, I was impressed with what they did with Venom and how he looked. It was weird to me because even though I know that Venom was supposed to be part alien, part like smudged kind of thing that comes off, in the comics it looks a little different than how it comes off in the screen, but it works. It works and it
Yeah.
looks good. And not for nothing, I thought Venom looked great too. You saw the eyes that kind of rolled up, the teeth went all the way back to the ears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's funny because I remember watching this. I think you could find it on YouTube as well. Is Todd McFarlane? He added in some parts to Venom, like with like one of those wands that they use when they do VFX, and he like just added a little bit of bulk, a little bit more teeth, and then I was like, oh, that's Venom right there.
That's
That's
the move.
Venom. But what do you expect? That's Todd McFarlane who drew Venom for the first time. Of course he's going to make it look better. But your overall thoughts on how Venom looked for the entire movie?
I thought Venom was great, and I thought they utilized all those other symbiotes great. It was one of my favorite comic books. Was the Separation Anxiety comic book. It's just a great comic book that shows all these other Venoms in there, from Riot to Shriek and such, Toxin. So for all of those Venoms, for all those symbiotes to make it into the movie, and they all had intricate designs that matched. Even when we had She Venom for a little bit, even that was
Yes.
super cool. So like all the designs were really cool and they matched very well. I think the lowest performance came by the actor who played Carlton Drake in the movie, or Carlton Blake.
Yeah,
I
that's
forget
it.
who he was.
Reese, Rhys, Reese something. I forgot his
Yeah,
name,
he
but
was
yeah,
from the Night Of, from the HBO's The Night Of, which was
right.
a great show. And so I had really high expectations for him, but he was very cartoonish. And while the movie itself was cartoonish, it had a more seriousness to it. So his cartoonishness just clashed,
Yeah, he was a
until he
little
took
over the
over the
top.
Riot.
He
Yeah,
was a
until he
little over
took
the
over
top.
Riot, then it worked out better. But for him, it was like the diabolical villain, and it wasn't that kind of movie. Like, chill, bro. Like, it's not that serious.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that I didn't like in the movie was the villain. Even when Carlton was taken over by the Riot symbiote.
Yeah.
It's also funny that we never called it symbiote before the movie, but what do we all call it before? What was it?
Oh, well, I always call it symbiote. They're calling it symbiote.
Symbiote. Symbiote. Yeah, that's what it
That's a
was.
side chick. She goes, "Oh, that symbiotes," and I'm like, "What the
I was
fuck
like,
up?"
whoa, she just ruined that.
I was like, "My fucking ears! What the hell?"
But yeah, I would have to say the villain was probably the worst part of the film because Carlton came off a little too cartoony, like he was in a completely different movie. But also the last fight in the movie between Venom and Riot, there were parts of it where yeah, you could now with the TVs that we have now with 4K and all that stuff, there's more of a difference. I know, humble brag, 4K. But I remember in the theater not being able to tell who was fighting who. You know what I mean? Like Venom
Yeah.
and Riot were kind of too similar in color tone, and it just wasn't separated enough. When I was watching it here at home, I could see the difference a little bit more. You could see that Riot was a little bit more
More red.
grayish, gray red kind of thing, and it was kind of cool to see him that way with all the big features and everything as well. But I hope that's a problem that they kind of fix with Carnage, because Carnage is, come on, notoriously a dark red or red, symbiote off of Venom, which I think hopefully will make it separate a little bit more between the black Venom and the red, Carnage there. But how'd you find, like, the bad guys there, the symbiote in Riot there?
I agree. Like especially there was the one scene that was in every trailer was when they kind of ripped each other apart for a second, and you saw both of Carlton and Eddie Brock. And like in that scene, like as cool as that scene looks, even in the movie, the color, the coloring and the coloring effects there, it's a dark night, it's a thunderstorm here and there, and then like you have two black grayish, symbiotes just rip each other apart. I don't know who's who, and when they're doing the whole struggle thing, I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. And I think, and the other thing too is, which was what we were hoping was fixed in this movie, especially when we saw the first trailer, we were a little let down, was like the graphics was very not, it was almost pixelated. Like you can tell there was so much graphics happening on the screen that it was just kind of mushy and mashy, you know?
Uh-huh.
So like, especially during the Riot fights, and anytime they were at night, which was half of the movie, anytime Venom was fighting something that wasn't a human, you couldn't really tell what was happening because all the graphics kept mishing and matching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's like I said, I'm hoping that they fix a lot of those issues with the movie that we're going to see on Thursday. And, again, the first trailer was kind of like, oh, he's being too jokey. But the second trailer came out and it was a little bit, a lot better, more violence you could see from Carnage. And, you could hear, I can't remember Carnage's actor, Woody Harrelson. There we go.
Woody Harrelson, yeah.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson, you could see his acting as Carnage there. And I'm excited to see this thing, man. So I'm looking forward to it. Just want to get your overall take on Venom itself, the movie. So overall, just a good movie, good time.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Like, it's for a Sony movie, it's all right.
So wow, yeah, I gotta say there was parts of it that I found a little boring in the movie, but to me, nothing stops the part where Venom was taking over was trying to get into the building, and the SWAT team came in to go after him. I thought that was a pretty cool scene in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the SWAT team scene is crazy. And then he goes to either eat the guy, and then Michelle Williams' character comes in and she's like, Eddie? I gotta say though, if I forgot how funny some of the scenes were, like there's a couple of corny lines, like I think Venom was gonna say that he was gonna eat the person's arms and heads and leg and leave him like a turd in the wind. I thought that was like that you trying too hard on that one.
You try way too hard.
But then there was also another scene where Venom was talking to Eddie Brock, and Eddie was supposed to either jump out of a window, and the next scene is that he's near an elevator, and you hear Venom in his head go pussy. He basically called him a punk.
That was totally improv.
So like that kind of humor, I'm hoping to see more of. The overstated words, as long as it comes off right, I'm looking forward to it, man. Other than that, no. Now,
yeah, I'm hoping for the better.
Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. Now, like with everything going on, Brandon, like you and me pretty much stay in tune with the news regarding movies and stuff like that. There has been nothing but positive stuff coming about Venom 2 or Venom Let There Be Carnage. a lot of things about this end credit scene, and also there's a poster now where Venom is holding his finger in front of his mouth, and you see the words "no, no, no" all around him, trying to hint that he doesn't want anyone to tell people what they see in this movie.
Yeah.
Now, Brandon, man, what's your thoughts, man? What do you think is going on here? If you actually know, don't tell me.
I have no idea. I don't want to find out. Yeah, I don't want to find out.
That's Al. Al usually looks into all these things to find out what's really happening, but
Al knew it 2 years ago. Al don't want to enjoy movies.
What's your expectations for Let There Be Carnage, and what do you think like some of these big surprises are supposed to be?
You know, this movie is one of the things that I've always hoped for. You know, like when we talk about our favorite villains and hero fights, I always tell you my number one is always Iron Man versus the Mandarin. Like that's my favorite, you know, rogue battle. But my second one is always going to be Carnage versus Venom. You know, it's so cool, you know, to have the symbiote. You have this ultra murder symbiote, you know, and then there's always that team up between Venom and Spider-Man to have to take him down. Now, I don't think Spider-Man's going to be a part of that, obviously, but like to have that be the focus of this movie, I think is perfect. You know, I was really hoping they weren't going to do like, we're going to save that for last kind of a thing. Like that would have just killed me. So I'm happy they're doing it now. You know, and I expect it to be completely awesome because when it comes to Carnage, he is very free flowing. Like, you know, he can take his hands and make them knives and axes. He can also make projectiles from his body where Venom is just a big body, you know, so he doesn't generally do that. So like having that metaphysical fight is pretty cool. And then my expectations, like, you know, we know this is Tom Holland's last movie with Marvel right now. I know they're in talks of rediscussing contracts and such with Sony, but at this moment, you know, Marvel wants to make things a cohesive story. Everybody wants to see Venom and Spider-Man together. So I'm waiting for like some kind of gag base end credit where like a magic circle opens up and Venom just kind of crossed through it. Like, you know, like where the hell am I? You know, he ends up in the Marvel universe, like something like that, something stupid. Right. Or the opposite where Tom Holland ends up in a magic circle going through. Ooh.
Now you're okay, man.
That was our other brother calling. I'll call him back later. So, you know, either that or Tom Holland goes through a magic circle really quick through Venom's universe as we're, you know, talking about No Way Home.
Yeah.
So like that's my assumption there. Cause like once you do Carnage for Venom, like I don't really know where else you can go. Like you can't really do Spider Slayers because that's a Spider-Man thing. Like, you know, like there's only so much you can do Venom wise other than like anti-Venom, you know, and that's a whole different storyline. Right. So I don't think they would go anti-Venom, you know. I would feel like it has to be some kind of nod with Tom Holland.
Gotcha. Actually, I'm going to go a different route, man. Like, my expectations for this movie, that's going to be absolutely bonkers and crazy. You know, I know it's not rated R, but with the images I saw on the trailer with Carnage putting, you know, all of his little bits and pieces everywhere, it's going to be kind of crazy. My expectation is this movie is going to lead up to, I think, which will be Venom 3 Maximum Carnage. You know, that's been a title for comic books, title for video games, title for other things as well, where Spider-Man, Venom go after Carnage. So my expectation is Carnage is going to make it out of this movie. And the end credit scene for me, I believe we're going to see either not Tom Holland. We're going to see either, what's the guy from Amazing Spider-Man?
Andrew Garfield.
I think he's going to be either Toby or Andrew Garfield that's going to be in that Spider-Man universe. I'm going to say Andrew Garfield because we saw Venom in Toby's universe. I don't think we're going to see Tom Holland just yet, but I do think we could see Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and that would be the shock of shocks if it's that. That would be amazing. And that'd be kind of leading into like, oh shit, that's why he has the Daily Bugle newspaper in there and all this stuff like that. I think that's something that we could possibly see. So I got my fingers crossed for Andrew Garfield. Brandon wants to see Tom Holland. Oh man, I can't wait to see this movie. I'm excited now. Oh man. I see like I wasn't getting those feels just yet. I knew the movie's coming this Thursday. I already gave the wife the preempt that hey, Thursday night, gonna check out a movie. But
What do you know?
I wasn't getting the butterflies or the feels about this movie. Brandon, thank you for bringing the butterflies.
What I do.
Absolutely, man. And listen, if I could speak for Al and Sanj, I know they're looking forward to this movie. I know Al's looking forward to it. Sanj loves all this kind of craziness, especially oh man, I forgot Carnage's name again. The
Cletus
guy
Cassidy.
actor.
Oh, Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. I know he really likes Woody Harrelson's character, so looking forward to seeing Sanjay's reaction to seeing some carnage on the screen there. Amazing, man. So listen, that is our prep for Venom. Guys, are you ready to see Venom Let There Be Carnage? Are you checking it out this weekend? Are you not looking forward to it because of whatever reasons you have? Love to know. Just comment below if you're watching on the YouTube site or if you're just listening on a podcast. You can email us at therealfanreview@gmail.com. That's REEL. Now, we're going to get to the last thing we're going to talk about today. And this is going to be the What If review of episode 7, which was What If Thor Was an Only Child, which was kind of interesting and kind of stupid. So just curious, Brandon, man, did you get a chance to watch that What If?
I did. I did. I saw it first thing last Wednesday, and I have to say one of two things with it. You know, this episode set for me that I don't think there was like a cohesive plan for these episodes. Like I really actually enjoyed the fact that this episode was very light. It was very airy. It was very like palpable and enjoyable. Like it was just a good time. Like it was all set on being a good time. And all the episodes that came before it, were very dark, had all these very dark turns, and a lot of them very interesting, but some of them weren't executed as well. Like they had a lot of good twists, but weren't developed.
Right.
And so like this episode being episode 7, we finally got a story that was just a silly take on Thor, who is as of Ragnarok a silly character. So we'll take it, like, and I took this episode and I enjoyed it until the end,
Uh-oh.
like, and I don't know if we're there yet, but like I enjoyed it till the end of the episode. It was just a good silly time that I didn't take seriously, and I just said, oh, I was chuckling half the time. I
Right.
didn't think it was that good of an episode, but I enjoyed it because it was a different feel. Like it wasn't just this dark, dark, dark. It was feeling like DC for a second with all the dark
Yeah.
death. I don't know how many times going to kill Iron Man and Black Panther in this series, but I feel like that's taboo. But like like uh, all, 7 episodes in, we get like something nice, like something just to enjoy for the sake of enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I kind of enjoyed it, but I also was like, this was probably one of my weaker episodes of What If. You know what I mean? I put it down there with the first episode, and yeah, I like around the first episode. Like I said, I like episode 2 with not Rhodey. I'm sorry, with the Black Panther becoming Star Lord was kind of cool, and then those 3 episodes, episodes 3, 4, 5, were to me amazing and great. Nothing better than that dark Doctor Strange episode, which was a
That
crazy.
was
So
beautiful. It was a great episode.
it was cool to see the jokey, funny episode because if I remember reading the What If comic books, and there were some which were just ridiculously stupid, and then there were some that were like, oh shit, this is kind of crazy. What if this did happen?
Yeah.
So to kind of see this was okay. I have to say the one part that stole basically the whole entire episode for me was Thor versus Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
That
that was awesome.
that was an awesome like fight, or like that's a what if I would like to see. Like what if Thor fought Captain Marvel, someone who was pretty much on the almost the same power level, and it just looked like an amazing fight. It actually looked real, looked great. Shout out to the animation too. The animation looked pretty good on this one.
Look great. I was cracking up though every time they were going to a different continent or country, and they would have the name of the country as it was on the world map. I'm like, that's actually pretty funny. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah,
But
man.
like, no, agree that whole fight was awesome. I think that was really cool, and this comes to like the whole thing, like if Captain Marvel is that strong, where she was holding back against her fight, like even though it looked like she was losing, you know, when it comes to her movie, how much stronger is this other person going to be that she has to take on? Like, this person's going to be stronger than Thanos. Like, like if we think about it,
Right.
like, so like I get concerned about the power levels that happen here and there, because at one
Right.
point Thor was the strongest thing ever, and so that way Thor wasn't always around. So it's like, all right, like, power level wise, like if we're considering Iron Man, Captain America, Hawkeye, looks okay. Let's be honest. If we're considering Hawkeye the base level, right, and then we have Captain Marvel on the other end of the spectrum, like power levels here are getting like in the Dragon Ball Z range of things, where Captain Marvel is Goku and everybody else is like Earthlings. Like
Yeah.
it's a little wonky.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. And like I said, I did enjoy the fight there. A lot of the little nods and jokes in the trailer in the episode, they were pretty funny. We got to see a lot of the background alien characters that came to Earth
Yeah,
to
that was
party with
cool.
Thor. He did call Rocket Raccoon a rabbit again. I thought it was pretty interesting to see that Loki was a frost giant, like a complete giant, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm
Well, that
like,
that was
go for it. What were you saying?
because that was supposed to be the whole thing. Like, Loki's only in a human form because he only really had humans to be with. So he took that form and made it his form. But he was a frost giant, like, so he was supposed to take the form of a frost giant. So he used magic to make himself a humanoid instead of a frost giant. So it was. I agree. It was really cool to see Loki being the 10 foot tall frost giant and still being Loki. Just without
Yeah.
magic.
And I thought it was pretty cool that they were still like without being brothers, they were treating each other like cool brothers.
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty interesting and cool as well. Darcy marrying Howard the Duck, silly, ridiculous,
Yes.
unnecessary, but yeah, But I also like I wondered to myself, without Loki being there, so he just becomes party Thor. That's it. Doesn't try to, fight the fights around the different realms. Doesn't try to
He
become
never has a reason to.
the king or anything like that. So is he like automatically the next in line for king? So he just doesn't care,
If we take it back to Thor 1, the only reason Thor even stepped foot on Earth was because Loki tricked him, right? He looked bad in front of his dad. Dad told him he was unworthy, sent his hammer down to Earth, so Thor went to get it. So that's the only reason why he was on Earth. So without
Right.
Loki, Thor never goes to Earth.
And then what do you think about the ending there
Hated it.
with well, before we get to the what is it, Ultron or Visiontron?
Ultra Vision.
Ultra Vision. We get this is the part where I was just like, are we really doing this where
The
Thor's
Daffy
afraid
Duck.
Thor's afraid of his mom and he's teaching the class right before she gets there, like with
The
Frigga.
Bifrost takes like 7 minutes to take her there.
She's just flying to the Bifrost there. But yeah, like I said, it was funny, it was entertaining, but a little corny at the same time. Not one of my favorite
Yeah,
episodes. But let's go to the part you hate, Brandon.
hate it, hate it,
Why do you hate Ultravision, Brandon?
because it makes no sense. There's no way this happens. Like, think about it like this: the only reason why there is an Ultron in the first place is because Loki came and did the Battle of New York. They got Tony Stark all scared, right? And then that formed the Avengers, right? So when the Avengers they're formed, then they have to go stop Hydra over in Germany or wherever because they have the scepter that Loki had, and that's when he got bewitched by Wanda. So if Loki never happens and Thor never comes down to Earth, there's no Avengers. There's no reason to have an Ultron because of
Oh,
Avengers.
Brandon has the map of the MCU down. I like that.
That's if there's no Avengers, there's no Ultron, and then there's no Vision, and then the Infinity Stones come out of nowhere. Like I get it to have a different perspective. Like, oh, because Thor chose this path, or because Loki wasn't taken by Odin, now there's a different being that takes the Infinity Stones. Like, I thought it was stupid.
Yeah. The one thing that got me on the episode was the Watcher at the end of the episode there, where he's looking at Thor, looks like he's about to get his first date with
Captain Marvel. Oh
no,
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 with Jane
with
Foster.
Jane Foster there. So, and he's walking away, and you hear the Watcher going, like, talking about love. He goes, "Wait, what? Huh?" And I'm like, "What is he looking at?" And then you see the dust, and then you see the Ultron bots come out. I don't know.
I feel like, so we have like what, 2 3 episodes left, right? And
Yeah, two episodes left.
from the trailer, it looks like they're revisiting one of the episodes to give a part 2 of it. My thinking is, I thought it was actually pretty cool when Thor was fighting Captain Marvel. I don't know if you noticed when they were by the volcano and the thunder struck, the Watcher's face was in the background of it.
Oh no,
Like, it was
I
all in
probably
black.
I remember this moment, but I probably
Yeah, the Watcher's face was in the background, just all in black with the white eyes.
white eyes.
So that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But like, I feel like they're setting up a whole, like, maybe this Ultron is from a different multiverse, and now
Right.
maybe the end of this season is gonna be a convergence of somewhat, like multiverses are being infiltrated or crossing over. Like, I feel like that's how they're gonna end it for season 2, because now that we know this is a season 2, like, for him to be so taken off guard, and we've seen it in other episodes, I feel like there's gonna be some kind of multiverse problem that's gonna, go with season 2 or something. I don't know, but like, I feel like I'm not so interested.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, and I think that's what this what if series is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a bunch of different universes, right? Because this can't be the universe that Doctor Strange destroyed. This can't be the universe where Peggy Carter is there. I just think that they're different universes. I'm not sure how many are actually connected, but I think the Watcher is watching a bunch of different things play out and see how it goes. Because it seems like
Yeah,
he has a heads up on what's happening and what's going to happen, but for some reason he didn't know that this was going to happen with Ultron. So
yeah.
I'm wondering, like you said, is it a multiverse Ultron that's taking the stones from different points in different universes, or is this the Ultron in this universe that somehow got the stones from space, from
Yeah.
Earth, and like you perfectly pointed it out. Without Loki, there's no Battle of New York, there's no Germany, there's no
Wanda.
Wanda to mess with Tony to make him fear and want to develop Ultron. So there's a lot of like questions there or continuity issues if it's one universe.
And then the other issue, which was made by Loki, is that we saw at the TVA, when an Infinity Gem leaves its universe, it's worthless.
Right. So they got some splaining to do.
And this is an interesting thing that happened that last week, was like, in watching this series, like, I'm not fully interested, because I feel it's so limited. Like, it's crazy to say we only have these characters.
Right.
There's so many characters, but I feel like we've been thrown these same characters over and over in different roles, different episodes. And like, it's just starting to be like, okay, and what if Spider-Man didn't tie his left shoe? Like, you know, it's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's getting not stale. It just wasn't a developed idea, because we don't have the full branch of Marvel characters like you would, so you can't fully develop these stories past the Avengers,
Right.
which is like my gripe with this thing. And then I saw um, Star Wars Visions, which was basically like a what if, but for Star Wars. And it had zero characters from the Star Wars universe we know. It was 9 completely different stories that
Right.
could take place, maybe never did, maybe in a different multiverse, if Star Wars ever had a multiverse. And just every story was done so well because it was so different and it wasn't dependent on anything.
Right.
Like, it was, and it just, I had to compare it to Marvel's What If, and just like, This series just did it so much better, and they didn't even try to.
Yeah, definitely. I gotta watch that Star Wars Visions. I keep hearing a lot of good things about the Visions there for Star Wars.
It's great. It's so good.
Yeah, man. Definitely looking forward to it, man. But listen, what if episode number 8 comes out tonight at midnight for our West Coast brothers? For us New Yorkers and East Coast people, we gotta wait till 3 o'clock in the morning, or for normal people tomorrow.
We'll see it tomorrow.
We'll watch it tomorrow sometime in the evening or afternoon. So yeah. But listen, I'm interested to see how this ends off. We only got 2 more episodes left. You know, out of all the Disney Plus series for MCU, this is probably the weaker one out of all of them, and it's animated. So it's like I kind of give it a little bit of a pass. Like it's not really continuity until like Doctor Strange, the evil Doctor Strange, shows up in real life. But but I am interested in seeing how they play off this Ultron thing from the last episode, because this is the first time that they really left like a super cliffhanger. You know, like the other cliffhangers, you could be like, oh, they just want us to leave it to our own interpretation kind of thing. But this one was just like, how at the end of this show did you show me Ultron? You got to pay that off, Marvel. So let's see what happens with this episode. Yeah, man. So that's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be tonight. But listen, guys, not a lot of news, not a lot of movies, but next week on the next podcast, we're going to have 2 movies to talk about, because we have Venom coming out, like I said, on Thursday. And then we also have The Many Saints of Newark, which is I guess the prequel to The Sopranos that was on HBO. So that's going to come out on HBO Max and in theaters as well. So you have your option of watching HBO Max or in the theaters, this Many Saints of Newark. Now, Brandon, just really quick, is there anything you're looking forward to in the Many Saints of Newark? Are you going to watch it on HBO Max, or what's your thoughts on that?
I feel like I'm gonna watch it. My only reserves is like I haven't watched The Sopranos past like the first season, so like I don't know if there's gonna be references that I don't understand, and then like I think I'll give it a shot because it seems like it's back in the past, so. You know, maybe it doesn't go too much, and I guess I'll just miss references, you know? But, like, you know, I'm hit or miss. Like, I want to check it out because it looks pretty good. I just don't know if I'm going to fully understand it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've always told people, I've watched The Sopranos with, you know, me and Brandon are brothers. There's one more brother in the middle named Eric. And I remember Eric and I used to watch this show every Sunday night. It'd be like the ending of our weekend kind of thing to watch this show. So I'm looking forward to seeing, like, to bring back those memories of watching this show, The Sopranos, for such a long period of time, and also to see a good movie. And I'm wondering, like, I'm wondering if by Sunday when we go to podcast about this, if I'm gonna like The Many Saints of Newark more than Venom, or if Venom's gonna be that much crazier that I'm just going to keep talking about Venom the whole time. So it's going to be very interesting, man. So listen, you guys come back on the next podcast there. So you're going to want to subscribe on the YouTube channel, or if you're listening to us on a podcast, go to that podcast site, search our name, hit the little plus symbol. That way, every time we put a podcast out, you guys will be up to date with us, and you'll see what we think about those movies that came out that week before or that same week. So again, this is going to be us for today. So coming out of Long Island, New York, you got my brother B.
Adios, everybody.
And you got myself, Hav, here saying thank you. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I don't know if you guys could tell, but as this podcast went on, I started to get a little sicker and sicker. So I guess it's my turn to take some Tylenol. And we'll see you guys on the Net podcast. Until next time.